Have you ever stopped to think about how small signs can completely change the course of an ordinary day? Imagine waking up one day and, in an unexpected twist, all the doors that seemed locked suddenly open, offering opportunities where before there were only obstacles. Intriguing, isn't it? Well, there's indeed a way to foster these transformations. Authentic faith, combined with a spiritual practice centered on devotion to great intercessors, has the power to bring about profound changes in our daily lives. In this script, we will delve into a story that begins with uncertainty and ends in renewed hope, illustrating how a simple act, carried out with sincerity, can yield remarkable results. Imagine Clara, a young woman dedicated to her studies and full of dreams, yet repeatedly finding herself before closed gates. Every time she looked for a scholarship or a professional opportunity, something prevented her from moving forward. One morning, while leafing through an old book, she came across the account of a saint known for powerful intercessions, especially when circumstances seemed most impossible. Curious, she wondered, could this prayer open the doors I've been longing to see wide open? The answer, surprisingly, came to her mind almost immediately. Yes, but only if it's spoken with an open heart and the determination of someone who truly believes. Clara decided to try, and over the following days, she noticed that locked doors didn't just refer to material issues, but also to our willingness to change internally. As she persisted in the practice and strengthened her conviction, small victories began to appear. A contact offering unexpected collaboration, a positive email response, and even an event that encouraged her to showcase her talent. It all felt like more than mere coincidence. Thus, Clara reinforced the notion that faith, when genuine, can alter not only our perception of the world, but also how the world itself responds to us. Now, if you're asking yourself what the essence of this prayer is and why it holds such power, the answer is surprising. It's a combination of personal surrender, spiritual trust, and a recognition that we don't always need to know all the details of the path before taking the first step. A single invocation, spoken with conviction, is enough to attract an energy capable of shifting emotional, spiritual, and even practical barriers. As we explore each stage of this script, you will discover how to replicate the same process in your daily life. We want to show that, far from being a magic formula, this is an invitation to align faith with action, allowing your life to move toward the dreams that once seemed unreachable. And if Clara's story serves as inspiration, it's because it reminds us that by opening our hearts to something greater than ourselves, we find the courage and serenity needed to make a difference in the world. And of course, to find doors that open where there used to be only walls. From the earliest historical records of devotion to intercessors, many believers have reported extraordinary experiences linked to saints and blessed who devoted their lives to divine service. This phenomenon gained even greater visibility in 1918, when Padre Pio reportedly received the stigmata, an event that intensified his worldwide recognition. Although science and theology still debate the exact circumstances, the occurrence sparked huge repercussions in Italy and, over the decades, attracted people's attention around the globe. In 2002, when he was officially canonized by Pope John Paul II, the cult of Padre Pio grew impressively stronger, leading to more testimonies from those who felt supported by his intercessory prayers. The sense of emotional and spiritual comfort accompanying this devotion has been the subject of multiple academic studies, including some conducted in 2021 that investigate the correlation between religious practices and perceived well-being. Reflecting on how this experience connects with day-to-day struggles, it's easy to see why so many people look to the example of saints like Padre Pio for the hope of better days. Unemployment, illnesses, or family crises all highlight the longing for some form of assistance that goes beyond our own limits. In this script, we address precisely that pursuit, starting from the principle that faith can serve as a lever for concrete change. The narrative explores the transformation that occurs when someone chooses to combine practical action with sincere belief. Proof of this can be found in the ever-growing number of accounts of achievements attributed to spiritual intervention, a factor that inspires many to hold virtual gatherings or prayer campaigns devoted to Padre Pio. These facts underscore the importance of studying, even superficially, the story behind a name that has become so popular in Catholic circles. According to Pew Research Center estimates updated in 2020, more than 1.3 billion individuals around the world profess the Catholic faith. Even though not everyone is specifically familiar with Padre Pio, the spread of information through social media has substantially expanded the reach of his legacy. On digital platforms, prayers and testimonies of granted favors circulate rapidly, encouraging users to share their own stories of overcoming obstacles. Within this virtual chain, the conviction takes root that if one utters a plea with genuine devotion, noteworthy events can happen. And even for those who do not follow the Catholic tradition, understanding the symbolic value of religious gestures and rites offers insight into the power of faith in general, particularly in how it motivates us to persevere in the face of adversity. The main aim here is to show how the thematic element of intercession fits into our daily experiences. Through historical examples, recent data, and personal testimonies, the script becomes both an informative and an emotional guide. This blend of grounded knowledge and engaging storytelling appeals to both the audience's reason and feeling, creating the perfect bridge for those who want a better understanding of how a spiritual practice can truly influence the doors that open in our path. Delving deeper into the concepts surrounding devotion to an intercessor like Padre Pio requires attention to two fundamental pillars: inner transformation and perseverance in seeking divine assistance. The first of these relates to the change in mentality that arises when we open ourselves to the possibility that dimensions beyond tangible reality exist. In other words, we begin to view adversity not merely as a setback, but as opportunities for growth and maturity. Generally, this broader perspective emerges when a person realizes that their individual effort alone is often insufficient to overcome certain challenges. It is then that faith becomes crucial, as it provides the assurance that a higher power acts in a complementary way, generating results beyond our capacity for explanation. Understanding how this internal change takes place requires reflecting on the question of free will alongside the belief in a greater force. Although there are variations across religious traditions, the notion that we are responsible for doing our part does not exclude the possibility of receiving supernatural assistance. In such a setting, prayer and meditation become practical tools for channeling specific intentions, relieving anxiety, and improving focus. According to some modern psychologists, there is a significant correlation between devotional practices and enhanced subjective well-being, a finding that aligns with research carried out in religious study centers in the early 2000s. Thus, by committing ourselves to praying or meditating regularly, we tend to develop a deeper sense of purpose, which positively affects how we perceive obstacles. The second key concept involves resilience, that is, the ability to remain steadfast even when facing prolonged uncertainty. Devotion to intercessors can bolster this trait by offering a source of inspiration to those going through complex situations. It's common to find stories of individuals who, feeling discouraged by a lack of immediate change, discovered through continuous prayer and recalling historical examples the motivation not to give up. Indeed, Padre Pio himself, having experienced pain and misunderstandings throughout his life, became the symbol of someone who combined unwavering faith with concrete acts of love for others. Reflecting on these accounts, we gain a model of emotional fortitude that encourages us to press on, even when results are not immediately visible. Another key point is understanding that resilience does not mean passivity. Continuing to pursue a dream or a spiritual request requires active effort. Looking for new job opportunities, caring for one's health, or studying to broaden knowledge. In this way, faith acts as a catalyst for personal drive rather than a replacement for it. When these two pillars, inner transformation and perseverance, work together, they create a favorable environment for doors, figuratively speaking, to open. Converging here are the motivational force derived from genuine faith and the willingness to act, even though results may not be instantly accessible. In short, grasping the depth of these concepts calls for viewing devotion as a practice integrated into real life. Far from being confined to isolated moments, it is reflected in the consistency of our decisions and in how we deal with uncertainty. When we put into practice personal transformation and perseverance, inspired by great intercessors, we find that each step is an invitation to overcome limits, build new horizons, and trust that, amid difficulties, there's always room for the unexplainable to work in our favor. Community involvement forms the third fundamental aspect in this context, as religious practice does not develop in isolation. It relies on interpersonal bonds that uphold the strength of any belief. When a group gathers to share prayers, experiences, and testimonies, an atmosphere of mutual trust emerges, intensifying the message of faith. This sense of belonging can be seen at in-person gatherings, such as pilgrimages or celebrations, but it also appears online, where social networks and streaming platforms facilitate the exchange of transformative accounts. This collective support often spurs on those who feel discouraged, providing both help and motivation to persist in adverse circumstances. Toward the end of 2019, for instance, there was a notable rise in live-streamed events uniting believers from different regions around specific devotions. Although this trend gained further momentum in 2020 and 2021, many people had already recognized the significance of sharing spiritual experiences online. Chat exchanges revealed that hundreds of participants found relief, comfort, and the courage to resume projects they had put on hold. An informal survey carried out by prayer groups indicated that the feeling of not being alone significantly contributes to higher emotional well-being, as individuals encounter support and understanding from those who relate to their difficulties. On the other hand, sustaining a sense of unity within the community requires practical actions beyond merely praying or watching a video. It involves cultivating virtues like empathy, mutual respect, and a willingness to engage in dialogue. Indeed, people often struggle to express doubts or fears, worried about being judged. This is precisely when the unity of believers can play a crucial role, welcoming someone else's uncertainty and turning it into a chance for growth. When a safe space is created where each person feels free to voice their concerns, everyone benefits, since sharing transforms into collective learning. In this sense, the figure of a revered saint, such as Padre Pio, operates as a unifying symbol for many hearts dedicated to a higher purpose. Clearly, the message of solidarity, so prominent in this type of devotion, transcends geographic or cultural barriers. While some may seek comfort during an illness, others aim to overcome professional or relationship issues. Whatever the personal motivation, the community of people who share the same faith serves as a refuge, a support system, and can even generate new opportunities. When someone reports finding a job after weeks of searching, for example, the group celebrates as if it were a shared triumph, forging bonds that extend into other areas of life. In this way, communal belief not only drives individual achievements, but also builds networks of compassion that positively influence social relationships. Ultimately, by prioritizing the idea of walking together, hope is kept alive even in times of great uncertainty. Continuing our journey, the fourth thematic element highlights the attitude of gratitude as a bridge between individual experience and spiritual transformation. We often underestimate how genuine acknowledgement can shape not only our mindset, but also the circumstances around us. Being thankful, whether for positive events or lessons gained in tough times, creates a profound shift in how we view challenges. In other words, gratitude works like a magnet, attracting even more reasons to remain hopeful, reinforcing faith and persistence. Many religious traditions regard thankfulness as an exercise capable of reconfiguring a person's inner self, paving the way for daily changes and strengthening devotional practice. A significant example can be found in the social work inspired by Padre Pio's teachings, such as the renowned Casa Sollievo della Sofferenza Hospital, built in San Giovanni Rotondo during the 1950s. This initiative was born precisely from an act of gratitude for the blessings that the local community and pilgrims received through the saints' prayers and guidance. Although it required financial backing and the involvement of numerous benefactors, the project also symbolized the collective commitment to tangibly repay the spiritual support received by offering medical assistance and care to those in need. Thus, gratitude ceased to be purely an internal sentiment and turned into action, showing that thanking someone isn't just recognizing a favor, but transforming such recognition into something real. For anyone seeking to incorporate this teaching into their routine, a common practice is keeping a gratitude journal, in which you note down at least 3 events or people each day that provided some sort of contentment or valuable lesson. According to certain psychologists, this method helps tune our perspective, directing our thoughts to what is positive or instructive in our personal journey. When combined with prayer or the act of asking for a saint's intercession, this tool greatly enhances our sense of support. Instead of only pleading for the doors we want to see opened, we learn to be thankful for the signs already appearing on the horizon. The outcome is typically the realization that each small victory, no matter how modest, is part of a greater process composed of faith, effort, and divine cooperation. Additionally, gratitude fosters humility, another crucial virtue in the spiritual path. Recognizing that some achievements aren't solely our own doing, but also the result of received graces, helps a person adopt a less arrogant and more empathetic stance toward other people's challenges. In communal environments, this sense of shared gratitude strengthens ties and inspires each member to act in a spirit of solidarity, perpetuating a virtuous cycle of mutual support. In the particular case of devotion to Padre Pio, countless letters and testimonies come from people who attribute improved health, career progress, or relationship enhancements to intercession obtained after a heartfelt prayer. By sending words of thanks, these individuals not only offer praise, but also encourage others to pursue a similar path. In essence, when gratitude is embraced as an indispensable part of religious practice, it ceases to be viewed as a mere formality and takes on a transformative role. More than simply appreciating what has been achieved, genuine acknowledgement mobilizes a person to share resources, time, and hope with others. Thus, each personal achievement becomes understood as a sign of something broader, where individual benefit can also reflect positively on the community. And it is within this dynamic that the core of intercessory teaching gains substance and meaning. For those who experience divine intervention learn to return that favor not only through words, but also through concrete deeds. We have now reached the end of this script, in which each step highlighted essential elements for understanding the power of a saint's intercession and how such devotion can tangibly affect one's life. It's time to tie up loose ends and underline why all this matters to anyone seeking true change. Throughout this journey, we've encountered stories of individuals who rediscovered hope after knocking on seemingly insurmountable doors, uncovered the importance of genuinely believing, observed the community's role in fortifying faith, recognized the value of gratitude, and finally realized that every choice made in everyday life plays a significant part in fostering real transformation. For those who want tangible results, the secret is to combine personal commitment with the humility to acknowledge that not everything depends solely on ourselves. Merging these mindsets creates a scenario in which our efforts are boosted, barriers eventually wear down, and opportunities emerge from where no one expected them. It's neither magic nor empty promises, but rather the alignment of thoughts and actions in a coherent manner. It may seem straightforward, but involves persistence, overcoming insecurities, and the boldness to see opportunities in the most challenging moments. This doesn't mean everything is instantly solved, but it certainly paves the way to a more positive and constructive vision of the world. Anyone who chooses to embrace this type of practice should remember that the process is ongoing. Just like any long-term project, The journey can have ups and downs. You have to keep going, adjusting your course whenever it's necessary. Bear in mind that every small achievement is worth celebrating, as it confirms that you are moving toward your true goals. Moreover, when it comes to devotion, there is no absolute formula that works equally for everyone. Each individual has their life history, their unique way of relating to the sacred, and their own motivations. Respecting these differences contributes to a more authentic and harmonious faith experience. If you followed all the points raised here, you already have enough information to put the discussed aspects into action. Reflect on what you've learned. Consider the importance of having a purpose. Keep a regular gratitude practice. Get involved with groups that share your values. And above all, nurture the hope that things can take a different turn when we combine our determination with faith. Sometimes it's precisely at the moment we're about to give up that an unexpected door opens, reshaping our entire path. So, if your goal is to find a solution, broaden your horizons, or simply find more inner peace, try merging tangible action with true devotion. The answers may not arrive immediately, but when they do, they often bring a clarity that once seemed impossible. In closing, the only thing that truly stands between many people and their goals is the readiness to bring together belief, focus, and courage in daily life. If you're prepared to take that step, remember all we have discussed and put your heart into what you do. Who knows, at this very moment, there may be a door ready to open right in front of you. Finally, we would like to extend a direct invitation for you to subscribe to our channel. Leave a like on this content and share the video with friends, family, or anyone who could use a word of encouragement. This simple gesture helps spread messages that can change the life of someone who currently sees no way out.